Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a source that really promises something powerful, especially if you're feeling, swamped by the sheer noise of the modern world. It's a brand new book, just out, called Meditations for the Modern Mind: Clarity, Focus, and Leadership in the Age of Noise by James V. McNeely.
Yeah, and this isn't just like another self-help book rehashing old ideas. What's really fascinating here, I think, is that it's the first in a new series. It's called Intelligence Z Editions.
Intelligence Z
All
editions.
right. And the core concept is taking these classic, really timeless works things on philosophy, leadership, stoicism, communications, and reimagining them.
Reimagining, not just translating.
Exactly. Transforming them, actually, with the help of artificial intelligence, AI.
Yeah.
But, and this is key, it's all guided carefully by the author, Jim McNeely.
Okay, so the mission for this deep dive, then, is to really pull out the most important insights from the book itself and also from the author's, unique approach, right? How can this ancient wisdom, but filtered through this modern lens, maybe even touched by AI, how can it actually help us navigate the, let's be honest, pretty chaotic work environment so many of us are in?
Yeah, finding those practical tools and all the distraction. That's the goal.
So where does it start?
Well, the jumping off point is Marcus Aurelius's original Meditations, the Roman emperor.
Right, the Stoic guy.
Exactly. And these weren't ever meant for publication. They were his private notes to himself, basically, a way to stay centered and, effective while he was dealing with constant wars, plagues, political stuff. I mean, about as chaotic as it gets.
So super practical stuff for him.
Deeply practical. Reflections for managing yourself under extreme pressure.
And the author, McNeely, he connects with this personally.
Oh, absolutely. He talks about it in the introduction. It's really key. He didn't just, stumble upon Aurelius in a library somewhere. No, he encountered these ideas when he was facing his own kind of modern chaos. Leading teams in boardrooms, yeah, sure, but also literally out on storm-battered claims fields after disasters.
Wow.
Or during, really demanding military service. What grabbed him wasn't the age of the words, the history. It was the raw, immediate usefulness of this ancient stuff in his messy, modern reality.
That makes a huge difference, that personal connection.
It really does. And that sort of boots-on-the-ground experience, that's the engine behind this whole Intelligence Z approach. The introduction is very clear. This is not just a direct word-for-word translation.
Right, you said transformation.
Exactly. They call it a transformation, even a dialogue between ancient Stoicism and modern demands. The whole point is to make wisdom that's literally millennia old speak directly to our specific 21st century problems.
Like what kind of problems?
Well, think about it. Burnout, leadership fatigue, that endless scroll of digital distraction we all face. That feeling of your identity being pulled in a million directions, searching for meaning when you're just buried in metrics and noise, all that stuff.
Okay, so how does the book actually structure this dialogue then?
Yeah.
I saw in the table of contents, it looked like there were multiple parts for each meditation.
Yeah, it's a neat structure. For each original meditation, it breaks it down. First, you get the classic translation, kind of the baseline.
Okay.
Then what they call a modern rewrite. Puts it in today's language, makes it instantly relatable.
Makes sense.
After that, there's an AI-generated insight or reflection. This often gives, a different angle, maybe something surprising.
The AI part. Interesting.
And then finally, and this is really practical, a prompt to practice question. Something to actually think about or do.
So it guides you to apply it.
Exactly. It's quite deliberate, takes the original thought, makes it relatable, adds maybe a clarifying layer with the AI, and then grounds it immediately with something actionable. It's designed to turn reading into reflection and then reflection into actual application.
Repurpose the past for strength, for clarity, and for now. I think I saw that phrase.
That's the one. That sums it up pretty well.
And you can really see why this author, Jim McNeely, is suited for this. When you look at his background, I was looking at about the author section.
Yeah.
Wow. This is not someone just theorizing from an armchair.
Not at all. It's a lifetime spent navigating complexity, navigating chaos, really.
His career after the military, it's just as varied, right? Different fields entirely.
Totally diverse. He got degrees in computer science and business management, studied organizational development, leadership at a graduate business school, and then held major leadership and training roles at huge companies. We're talking AT&T, EDS, AIG, Cigna, State Farm, Envirotech International, too.
And his bio mentions some specific really challenging situations.
Yeah, and these tie directly into the book's theme, handling turmoil. He was a business liaison during the Deepwater Horizon oil spill.
Right, the BP spill. Huge environmental disaster.
Massive. And he was there negotiating and settling complex business claims for over 2 years. Talk about complexity and high stakes. The bio also lists things like hotel management, computer programming,
Mhm.
live event stage management. I mean, that sounds chaotic in a totally different way.
Right, backstage chaos. Plus, network marketing, business education, public speaking on communication, leadership. It's such a broad spectrum.
From combat zones to conference rooms, disaster sites to stages.
Exactly. It's that incredible breadth of practical experience, military, corporate, disaster response training, mentoring that he brings to this project. Even though he's medically retired now, he's still mentoring, writing.
So he's using this lifetime of experience and then bringing in the AI. Precisely. Using AI as a tool, blending his human experience with the text, specifically, as the book says, to reimagine classic philosophical texts in support of modern leadership, clarity, and decision-making. His background gives him this unique lens for updating ancient wisdom for our challenges right now.
Totally. He's not just some academic looking at old texts. He's a veteran of modern chaos, basically saying, look, this stuff actually works. I've seen it work. Here's how. And hey, AI can even help us see it more clearly today.
Well put. Yeah.
Which brings us, I guess, to the heart of it. What are some of the key insights from the book itself that feel really relevant for navigating that, crazy work environment we keep talking about? Let's maybe unpack a few examples.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's start right at the beginning. Meditation, #1, the core idea from Aurelius, the ancient bit. It's beautifully simple. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you find strength.
Okay, classic Stoicism. How does the book modernize that?
This modern rewrite is so sharp, so current. You can't control the algorithm, the economy, or the people around you. But you can train your thoughts. Your attention is your real asset. Guard it.
Oof. Can't control the algorithm. Yeah, that hits home. Attention is your real asset.
Right. Immediately speaks to the digital age. And this is where that AI layer adds something interesting. It points out that modern chaos isn't just like big external events. It's that constant feed.
The notifications, the headlines.
Exactly. Algorithms constantly vying for your focus. The AI insight is basically that none of this external noise has any authority unless you give it authority. Strength isn't reacting faster to the flood.
It's pausing.
It's pausing, observing, and deliberately deciding what gets your precious attention, and just as importantly, what doesn't. The AI puts it nicely. In a noisy world, the strongest minds aren't the loudest, they're the most selective.
Wow. Okay, most selective. That really counters the pressure we feel to be always on, always reacting to everything, right? The idea that real strength comes from selectivity, from guarding that attention. That feels, I don't know, almost radical for today's workplace.
It kind of is.
Makes me think about meditation, #4, energy follows attention. Aurelius originally said something like, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts.
That's the one, which the modern rewrite captures really vividly. Your mind is a room. What you allow in stays. Choose carefully. Energy isn't found, it's focus.
Your mind is a room. I like that metaphor. You curate the space.
And the AI insight builds right on that. It frames your thoughts as investment.
Investments, how so?
It says they pay dividends in energy. What you dwell on expands. So if you're constantly dwelling on the chaos, the stress, the negativity, guess what?
That's what grows. That's where your energy goes.
Exactly. But if you consciously focus on, say, potential solutions or finding clarity or just what you can control, that's what expands instead. The AI says, attention is your most valuable currency in a distracted world. Use it with intention.
Okay. And the prompt to practice question for that one.
Simple, but really makes you think. What's one thought you keep repeating that needs rewriting?
Yeah. I mean, how much of our daily fatigue is just recycling anxious thoughts or negative loops?
A lot, probably. It's about consciously redirecting that mental energy.
Okay, maybe one more that feels absolutely essential for this age of noise we're talking about.
Yeah, number 58. Be the calm in the chaos. Seems fitting, right?
Definitely.
Right.
What's the ancient core?
The idea that if you're feeling pained or disturbed by external things, stressful meeting, a difficult colleague, market volatility, it's not the thing itself that's disturbing you. It's your judgment about the thing.
Another core Stoic idea. Your interpretation is key.
Exactly. And the modern rewrite turns it into a direct call to action. Your calm is your power. Don't outsource it. Don't give it away. It frames calm as this internal resource, something valuable that you need to protect.
Okay. And the AI insight connects this to work.
Right to the workplace. It says something like, everything around you can be on fire, but your mind doesn't have to be. Chaos isn't about the absence of pressure. It's about maintaining your internal control in the presence of that pressure.
Maintaining control within the chaos.
Precisely. The AI points out that the best leaders in really high-stress moments, they often aren't the loudest or most frantic. They're the ones who can consciously slow their breath, observe the situation clearly, and then choose their response deliberately, rather than just reacting instinctively.
So calm becomes a skill, almost a competitive edge.
That's exactly how the AI frames it. Calm is a competitive edge one you can train. And the prompt to practice makes it actionable. How can you create calm in the middle of your next high-stress moment? It moves calm from being just a state you hope for into an active skill you can cultivate.
These examples really illustrate that structure you mentioned, ancient core, modern language, the AI layer adding a contemporary angle, and then that practical question. It makes these big ideas feel, well, usable right away.
Yeah, it's not just about intellectual appreciation like, oh, that's interesting. It's designed to be practical instruction for right now.
And it's worth just circling back quickly to the AI role here. The author's clear it's a tool, right?
Absolutely, he emphasizes that. It's used to help reimagine classic works, but he explicitly states he maintains full editorial direction, intellectual authorship, and responsibility for all final content.
So it's not AI replacing the human wisdom or experience.
Not at all. It's AI assisting a human expert, someone with really deep, relevant experience, to make that ancient wisdom resonate more powerfully now in our context.
Okay, that's an important distinction. And the connection back to you, the listener, that seems woven throughout this whole approach too.
Definitely. The book isn't just presenting ideas, it's constantly prompting you with those questions we talked about. Where's your focus leaking? What thought needs rewriting? Are you performing or showing up? How could this obstacle actually make you stronger? How can you create calm?
So by engaging with those questions,
You're not just passively taking in information, you're actively applying these updated principles to your own life, your own challenges. You start using this timeless wisdom, kind of refreshed for today, to navigate the noise, manage your energy better, respond more thoughtfully, build resilience, all that good stuff needed for modern chaos.
okay, so wrapping up our deep dive today, what we've really explored is how this ancient wisdom, specifically Stoicism from Marcus Aurelius, gets filtered through the, wow, incredibly diverse and practical experience of someone like Jim McNeely.
Someone who's faced chaos from Vietnam to disaster zones to boardrooms.
Right, and then it's reimagined with help from modern tools like AI. And the result seems to be these powerful, really actionable strategies for dealing with our own chaotic work lives.
Yeah, it really circles back to that central promise in the book's title, delivering clarity, focus, and leadership, specifically in the age of noise. And these aren't just nice ideas. The book presents them as trainable skills for operating effectively when everything around you feels loud and demanding.
So, maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to carry with you from this. Consider just one small principle we touched on today. Maybe it's the idea of guarding your attention like it's your most valuable asset.
Or consciously focusing your energy where it matters most.
Or finding that moment of stillness in a stressful situation. Or maybe reframing an obstacle, seeing it as training instead of a roadblock.
Just pick one thing, one idea that resonated.
Yeah, pick one. And just make a conscious effort, maybe a small one, to apply it in your workday this week. See what happens. What minor shift could that one principle unlock? And how you experience the noise, how you find a bit more clarity. Just give it a try.
Reflect deeply, act intentionally, lead from within. Sounds like a good takeaway.
See you on the next deep dive.